Guess that's fixed it. It is Saturday, October 13, 2012. And it's about 2:15 or so. We're going to walk down to my spot, Charlie's spot, across from Charlie's Island. In preparation for the hearing on the 19th. If the documents I submitted don't sufficiently demonstrate to a court that I'm incapable I need assistance. I'm dysfunctional in some ways, and I need some help here. If I were fully capable, competent to handle my own defense, don't you think I lost that tooth because I didn't have enough money because of child support funds that were taken from me that I don't believe should have been, but I couldn't get it to stop, and I couldn't afford preventative dental care on my under $10 a day. If I were competent, I wouldn't have these two prostheses now. You say that without a front tooth. This is the area that the DNR charged me with being in violation of that posting at the beginning of the trail, that sign that prohibited admission from April 1st or 15th, I forget which, until September 15th. The crime I committed that I have 2 tickets that I have to defend against is that I sat down here. And on day after Memorial Day, not this Memorial Day past, but the one before, Conservation Warden Dave Wood and some unidentified DNR person, it was someone in training or something, I don't know the person's name, and they had no card, and I don't think they gave the name. I was told by Conservation Warden David Woods that I had to leave this area that we're walking to. He commanded that I leave, and I told him, pretty close to a quote here, I told him, look, you either ticket me, I don't think I said that, but anyway, I told him he'd best just arrest me or leave me the fuck alone, is what I told him. I was sitting here like any citizen in the world would have been permitted, and Officer Wood commanded that I was supposed to leave the area. That was illegal. That was against my Constitution. Officer Wood stood on that side of this bush. Then it was a little lower. And he told me that I had to leave. I refused to leave. And then he radioed, he's right here so I could hear, he radioed to his superior, Jeremy Ploutz, supervisor, now he's moved on, but supervisor of 3 counties. Let me take off my do-rag. And he radioed and said, I've got Charlie at Charlie's spot. That's Charlie's Island over there. I got Charlie at Charlie's spot. What do you want me to do? And Officer Ploutz says I want Charlie out of there. And I told Officer Wood, You write me a ticket, you arrest me, or you get the fuck out of here. Now, I wish I had just called the police on him for disturbing me, but eventually Officer Wood and his cohort, whomever that might have been, left me alone. I was perfectly within my rights as a citizen of the world to be here. I was commanded to leave. That didn't work for them. So this springtime they put up those signs. And now it's illegal because they put up those signs. Before it was illegal on their part. Now it's illegal on my part. This is a funny system we've got going here. I gotta quit because it's raining. We'll see. That'll work for now. The day that Officer Cropeland ticketed me the first time I was ticketed down here for being in a posted area. You know, I was down here. This is a crime I was committing. Officer Cropeland, as he's issuing the tickets, we have to deal with a fishing guy that wanted to come down here and go fishing. He had his fishing rod and he wanted to come down here like, you know, a citizen that wants to use their outdoors. Wanted to come down and use it, and he was told no. I've watched a family, oh, these are the most beautiful kids I've seen. At least some of the most beautiful. I've watched these 3 towhead blonde boys come down with Dad. And they frolic here, bring down their goats, bring down all their chums. It's a great spot. They're homeschooled. This had been, until this year, this had been their classroom right here. You know, not too shabby a classroom if you ask me. This is where they used to come. You know, Charlie would be here. They liked gabbing with Charlie, and I'd check with Dad, we'd talk about things and such. But that's illegal for them to be down here now. We don't want children learning anything here. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid that the DNR would let such a crime take place. Now, I do know of a crime that took place here. Someplace in here one day when I was in here last fall. Roughly a year and a month or so ago. A man was ticketed someplace in here. He's told me about it. I don't know where he was, but the way he describes it, it was someplace here. And that man, now he could have had a pile of beer cans 10 feet high. And with what was going on in his life, frankly, I wouldn't have blamed him. But he could have had that, but no. He came down here to try and get soulless, because that morning he had learned that his 40-year-old friend had died in a motorcycle accident. In the morning he woke up and his friend was alive, and everyone expected he'd be alive that night, and instead he was dead. And so this person that's come to the beach, I've come since '96. This person that's come at least that long, he came down here. Where would you go if you were in that amount of pain? What would you do? Would you have preferred that he had 10 feet of beer cans? He came down here and he smoked marijuana, and that's one of those charges that the DNR has against all the people that come here and use this terrible, terrible spot. They're helping society by ticketing that man. He explained it to him as he told me, I believe this happened. We can check with the DNR. But you see, they don't seem to keep records of that sort. We can't get information on that spot with Officer Wood. They don't have information on that. They don't have information on the spraying that took place, even though a private contractor did it, and the administrative aide to the Secretary of the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources told me right around December, a couple years ago now, that she would send me the information. She had plenty of information on it. She told me she'd send it that day or the following day. I've never gotten it, but from the next tier down, from the regional director, it is now purported that no spraying, you can't see the beach area. It's beyond those trees, down 3/4 of a mile. According to the regional director, no spraying took place. These are the people in charge of the environment. They're making choices like, we will hide from a citizen. This was a turtle project. They were so proud of these turtles that they went in and lied to the Riverway Board that they had to cut some brush. We can't get down there right now, but they had to cut brush. And so they told the Riverway Board it was because of their turtle project that they had going. And the next year they sprayed it with a chemical, an herbicide, you know, Agent Orange. That's what Agent Orange did. It killed woody vegetation. That's what they sprayed on there. But I can't get information on that. We can get tickets. We can get tickets for smoking marijuana. That's bad. That's very bad. But chemicals on the beach where people walk barefoot and lie down on their towels, that information doesn't exist. This strikes me as very odd indeed. Someplace over there, now we can't even get it to come in focus because of the water, I assume, on the lens or something. Anyway, this springtime, over there, there's been an eagle's nest there for years. And this year, I'm at a stage with the eagle's nest that I'm watching the fledglings are now, from here with binoculars, some pretty crummy binoculars, I could see well enough that I could see the fledglings were starting to move about. Oh boy, I get to watch that. But then, April 1st or 15th, whichever date it is, then it became illegal for me to be here. We wouldn't want a citizen to be here. And so I couldn't watch the fledglings. That's a crime in this state. The Department of Natural Resources has made that a crime to witness that. Because it's all the bad stuff that can take place here. Because of all the horrible things that could possibly take place here. Someone up there smoking marijuana. Someone down there spraying a beach with a chemical poison that they won't provide records on. I think this department needs a little cleaning up. I think it was the fall before this last fall. I forget. Somewhere I'd have some information on it, but I sat up there because the next day the DNR was going to close that area. The DNR is into closing areas, supposedly because of roosting eagles. If that's really the reason, that's okay by me, if that somehow helps roosting eagles. But I doubt almost everything that the DNR says these days, so I don't know. But anyway, I was seated at the top of that hill, had this same jacket on. I was pretty obvious up there. And I got to watch a fox came up the hillside, walked within about 4 or 5 feet of me. We had eye-to-eye contact. It was just incredible. And then he walked away. And up there on that same crest over there, I was standing on that on a windy summer day, and an eagle flew beneath me. I got to witness, while I was standing, an eagle flying underneath me, the top of its wings, and I thought, gee, I'm never going to experience another thing as cool with eagles as that. And let's see, I could check the date on this, but approximately a week ago, I was in a woods, not on this property, but I was in a woods where I'm so proud to say this is really, I'll never top this. I can't imagine for an eagle sighting this will be topped. An eagle flew through the woods.